Hey Brian, this is Antonio. Okay, I'm going to go over the article. There were 5 big changes I wanted to see you make to this, and they're ones that I commonly see on writers that I work with, and so don't feel like I'm really I don't mean to embarrass you or anything, and I hope you take this. It's very constructive criticism here. Overall, you did a great job, but this is how we can take this good article and we can make it great. So the first thing you want to do is improve the title. Now, the title you had before was shaving styles or something like that. But really, in this article, you weren't really covering shaving styles. What you were doing is you were making a case for wet shaving. And you talked about some of the options, but you really talked about the early options in a very negative tone, which isn't a bad thing. I like it that you took a stance. But instead of using that title, look at this title I came up with here. Learn to shave and save $300 a year. Now, the power in this title is that we're talking about shaving, but we're talking about an immediate benefit. And if you read this title, Learn to Shave and Save $300 a Year, that's going to grab a lot of people's attention because we're in a recession and people want to save money. And so you're telling me, when someone first reads this, how can I already know how to shave, so how can learning how to shave save me $300? It's kind of a play on words because we are going to be talking to them and teaching them, and the argument we're making is the right way to shave. And you're making a very bold claim here. You're making a promise that you're going to save them $300 a year if they learn to shave. So a very powerful title, one that immediately grabs attention, and that's very important because if you don't grab their attention, if you don't suck them in at the title, they're never going to get farther than that. People aren't just going to read a boring title and jump in and start reading. No, people click to something else. So this right here is going to really help with the success of the article, but you need to be able to deliver. And so you'll see at the beginning I changed up. You had 2 pretty long paragraphs. I broke this up and I really broke it up into writing for the web, where I've got one sentence that asks a question, then I kind of answer that question for them. And most men are going to say, yeah, I use a Mach 3 or a Fusion. And then you're going to make a statement. What if there was something different, something better? Maybe even we could put here something that would say a different way of shaving that would save you money. And that's what you're drawing them in with. And then here you're kind of making more of the statement, why I'm here to tell you there is a way, I dare you to try it. And then boom, here you outline the problem. And in fact, I could even put this in here, the problem. How do I spell problem? The problem. The drugstore shave. All right, so this was, and now you can see these like little red dots here. And what I did here is this is actually a paragraph that I left alone, except I wanted to show you how many commas you had in this single paragraph. And actually, you're writing in general. In fact, that takes me to another point I want to hit on, which is you need to go through and reduce the number of commas and these phrases that you throw in, which really they don't need to be there. I would say you can eliminate 80% of the commas that you put in there in your writing. It doesn't, I have this, and just to let you know, I do this myself. We oftentimes think it makes the writing sound better when we put in these phrases. It doesn't. Eliminate the commas, say what you want to say, and get to the point. And instead of having a lot of commas, what I would say is really focus on the details. And this gets down to where we're actually getting into the claim. So we make the claim that we're going to save you $300. And I added this myself. I just actually made this up quickly, but I'm saying just do the math. Assuming that you shave 7 days a week, 50 weeks a year, you have 350 shaves. Replacing a cartridge every 5 shaves equals 70 cartridges a year at $425 each. You've just spent $300. Now that doesn't exactly work out, I believe, because that's assuming that this, the other shaving options cost you 0. But the point I'm getting is that we actually break out some of the math and we show people that there is logic behind the claim that we made. And people can argue one way or another that, hey, I get a better deal at Sam's Club and, it doesn't actually cost me $300. Well, okay, so it only costs you $200, $150. The point we're making, and the bigger thing that if they missed it, is that by going with the straight edge or with a safety razor, that a man can save money. And then we're going to put out a number of other options. And, so the other thing that you'll notice is I've added a lot more white space. So not only the white space here, but the white space here, because I've gone in and I've added subtitles. Subtitles are very important when you're writing for the web, because after we read the title, Learn to Shave and Save $300 a Year, if I am pushed for time, and most people do this, they go in and they skim the subtitles. They go, okay, it's going to talk about a problem. It's going to talk about wasting $300 every year. It's going to talk about, what are my shaving options? It's going to talk about wet shaving, because if the guy already is a wet shaver, or if he already owns a straight edge razor, then he may read through this and go like, oh, well, I already know this, but this is a great summary. I'm going to pass it on to my friends. So right there, he's made a quick determination that he doesn't need to read this because he already knows this information, but it's still, he can quickly see by the main subtitle points that this is something worth passing on. And so that's why subtitles are very good, because they allow us within seconds to figure out if this is something we want to read through. Another thing you'll notice is that I went through and I highlighted main points. So these aren't subtitles, but I went through and I bolded out main points. And these are things that I really want people, when they're going through, to grab their attention and to really yell at them, because this is a main point. You'll also notice I made this picture a lot bigger. Originally, this image, I think you had it about, I don't know, like this big or something like that. People like larger images. And in fact, they really like images which are wide and not so tall. So more of landscape images, or so if you can imagine something like that. People, it comes off as more natural. It helps to break up. If you actually go look at Real Men, Real Style, you'll see I use a lot of images like this. And so if you're looking to insert images, you'll need to grab larger images and possibly look to get them cropped so that they fit at an angle like this. Okay, so we've talked about the last part, I would say, is just go through and eliminate those commas, eliminate any phrases which really don't need to be in there. A lot of times you just go through, put in the facts, and try to avoid saying what, if you can say it in 10 words, don't say it in 20, because people are it's better to have something that is short, to the point, but full of solid information. Get into those details, and that's where you'll want to go into writing a bit more. Don't write a lot of fluff or make a general claim and not back it up, because people, that information's a dime a dozen. That's what we see over at websites like eHow and stuff like that. In order for this article to really get in front of, for a lot of people to pass it on, it needs to provide like an aha moment. Something as simple as, breaking out that math actually is a great thing, I thought, because, and that could be the big part of the article, because simply most people, they'll say that you save money, but no one ever shows you exactly how you're going to save that money. So not just show how much this costs, but then break out the math on the straight razor. You give some general numbers, but let's give links and let's talk about specific costs of what these razors, what you can get them for, and use that to really sell the article. And so hopefully that gives you some ideas, Brian, of what I'm looking for. And again, a great start, but I think you can take this to a whole nother level. I'll go ahead and save this and send it back to you, but please do not use this one, as I didn't really edit it. I just threw the stuff in there. You're welcome to use the title and to kind of use some of my ideas. But again, I just went through this very quickly, edited it up, and just really wanted to use this to give you some ideas on how to improve it. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.